and the papers were finalized, and now we're divorced, I gave her everything. The house, signed it over to her, gave her the car, gave her all the furniture, TVs, stereos, you name it, everything. I took my van and my tools, and I left with that.
Okay, how was the visitation?
I'm sorry, I took the credit card.
Oh, okay.
All the credit cards.
Okay.
Yeah, so I could pay them.
So you took the debt?
Yeah, I took the debt.
Okay.
And the children?
Now,
And the children stayed with her.
and you had visitation. How did that work out?
Well, the divorce papers that were signed were great. You know, it was just the way both of us would have liked it. You know, she got the kids. I got to see the kids every other weekend and every other holiday.
Okay.
And it worked great. It was great. Things were okay. I would come pick up the kids. You know, things were fine.
Then what happened?
Well, then the kids started whining a little bit and wanted to be with their dad. This is what I gathered from what she was saying. You know, we have much more fun when we're with dad. You know, so I get a phone call, and she's there. I don't think this is right. You know, that, you're seeing the kids and they're going out with you and you're bringing them here and there, butterfly world, all over the place, and they're really enjoying themselves with me. And then when they come home, I have to discipline them. And I never had to discipline the kids. They were always great around me.
Then what happened after that period of pleasure?
Yeah.
With the visitation?
Well, before there was a little situation at Sean's school where her new husband had a different last name. So she said, would it be all right if Sean took his name, if we could get Sean's last name changed to Chuck's last name? And I said, oh yeah, and at first I said, no, that's not going to happen. She goes, well, I'll just, you don't have to make child support. You won't have to pay alimony anymore. I said, well, here I am building up debt at the rate of about $1,000 a month, and I'm not living anywhere but in my van.
Right.
And I'm eating wherever I can find free food, free buffets, whatever, friends, living at friends' house, things like that, staying out all night.
So I
said, okay, that sounds like a good deal. And so I took Sean with me, my son. And we went to this place that she said, oh, just go up there, and they've got some paperwork you just have to sign. Before we walked in, Sean's like, Daddy, I don't want to change my name. I don't want to change my name.
And how old was he?
He was like 3.5. And I said, oh, it'll be all right, Sean. When you turn 18, you can turn it back by yourself. You don't have to keep that name, but it's just for the good of everyone, so that Chuck doesn't have a problem picking you up at school, and you can have his last name. Well,
so you did that.
So I did it. We went in, and he was holding my hand, and he's standing right there, and I was sitting in a chair, and I signed a few papers, and he just kept going, I don't want to change my last name. I don't want to change my last name. And I
know he's very little, and he still understood.
Oh, he understood better than I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't know the consequences that were going to happen after that.
Right.
Once I did that, then it was, I go to pick up Sean on my regular weekend or a regular holiday. Oh, well, Sean's got a birthday party to go to this week. He can't. Well, no, it really started with, oh, Sean's not feeling well this week. He's not feeling well. He came home from school. He wasn't feeling well.
What are the other ones?
And then, and then I said, okay, and then my following week, I couldn't see him because it wasn't in the the law. The law was I see him every other week.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks go by, I'd come to the house and, oh, Sean's got a birthday party to go to. He won't be able to go with you this weekend, and Victoria won't go either.
And that went on for?
And that went on for about 6 months. So, I didn't get to see him for, 6 months. And finally it was, the novelty was wearing off. And I called up and I said, I want to see my kids. And I got a little irate with her and didn't really get too strongly irate, but I was kind of pissed. And well, she says, well, Chuck and I've been talking it over, and we don't think you should see the kids anymore. Or we don't think the kids should see you anymore.
Okay.
And I says, well, I will get the attorney, because in our agreement it says that you will pay for all attorney fees and everything. Of course, that doesn't bother her. Her husband's working, she's working, her family's got plenty of money.
Yeah.
So, and I'm on the other end of the phone going, I'm going to get an attorney with what? I'm
right.
I'm rubbing 2 pennies together in my pocket. Wondering where I'm going to get another gallon of gas to drive to work.
Right. So that went on for 17 years.
Yeah.
Right?
That went on for 17 years. 17 years. They got to see my parents. They would regularly go to my parents on holidays and birthdays for a number of years, until my parents were denied rights to see them when they turned about 15 or
But you tried to contact 16. Them. You tried to give them presents, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about the presents.
Yeah. It was the same year as we got divorced. I wrapped up some nice presents for Sean. Victoria was just born. And he never got to see the presents. I went there the very next day, went out back into the shed, my shed. My shed. That's the only thing I might have kept on the property.
Right.
But really, I didn't have anything in there that belonged to me. But I went to check, because it was right after the divorce, and it was right after Christmas, and I saw packages sitting on the side along the fence, and I went in the shed, and there's I had bought him a big stuffed animal, and that's sitting in there, with the bow still on it. And then it came to Victoria's birthday, and I bought her a birthday gift and put it out there. Not put it out there. I went to the door, knocked on the door, gave it to Lisa. So here's a birthday gift for Victoria. Well, next day, driving by the house, the present's sitting in the trash, with the trash.
And the same thing happened with the Christmas presents, right? Yeah.
Well, the Christmas presents, I don't know what happened to them, but they stayed in the backyard where the kids didn't go.
Yeah.
It never worked. And then, of course, my daughter from my second marriage. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't tell the part about the prom.
Yeah.
You drove past the house one day, and what happened?
Yeah, I know. You got to see my daughter in a prom dress, getting ready for the prom, with a limo out front and everything. My daughter was in the back room, in the car behind us. When we were in the truck, I was with my father. My daughter was with my wife and my mother in the car behind us. So I slowed down. They slowed down. My daughter sticks her head out the window and yells, "Hi, Victoria! You're my half sister." And Victoria broke down and started crying. And
this is your daughter that's with you. Yeah. And this is your other children.
Yeah. And so when we got home, the phone rings at my parents. My parents just lived down the street, five houses down from their house. I see. So it's, I was always back and forth.
How did you feel at the time you saw your daughter in the prom dress?
Well, I was. Hang on. Okay, when I saw my daughter standing there, I was just heartbroken, and really happy that I could see her, and I was kind of happy for my other daughter that she could actually see her for the first time. But I still haven't been able to tell them I love them and tell them that I've been missing them all these years. And they've never heard that from me, and that's the same with you. They never get to hear it because there's no one out there that'll come forward and actually express that for you. My mother wouldn't even do that for me. And when we got that phone call after that about 5 minutes after seeing her, and her dress was ruined, her makeup was ruined. We ruined her prom. That's according to her mother.
Well,
I mean, that's what she called my mother.
You have to be a villain for a reason. They want to, they don't want you to be likable, because then they're wrong. They don't want to be wrong. Mm-hmm. Really.
Sure.
They want to make sure that they were right in what they told these children all these years, not to love you, not to care about you, because you're this horrible person. And self-esteem is really hard, and it takes a lot out of everybody involved in the systems. And the systems don't work. Lawyers don't work. Money's spent, billions of dollars at family courts, and what for? To get a visitation right when the child is told to go see the person. They're at the visitation rights and they're wondering what they're even doing there with this horrible monster that they're forced to see.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
I know.
Really, the courts don't help. They can't help you, because you go to court and they don't show up. So then the judge tells them to show up, and then the next week they show up, and the week after that they don't show up.
Right.
So that would mean you have to go to court every other week to enforce that. And nobody has the money to go to court every week and try and enforce visitation when you had it in the first place. So that doesn't work.
Yeah, and the system's
It's all
broken.
about lawyers. It's all about lawyers making money. It has nothing to do with children. Children are out of the picture in the courtroom.
Yeah, the love is dropped and split, and it's almost as if every bad marriage relationship was severed completely, and every family relationship is severed along with that relationship.
Wow.
Instead of, the kids are okay, it's the wife I didn't want. That was my thing. I didn't want that anymore. I didn't want that yelling and screaming and cursing at me and the kids, and just nonsense.
Divorce happens. It's the children that we need to reach out and educate.
And the children are just destroyed by it. Yeah.
It's, we go on. You're remarried. I'm remarried. Things happen in your life where you go on, but it's the children that don't understand.
Right.
And the children that are having the problem, that are not educated and taught that the right thing to do.
Well, because of the seed that started the whole thing, the separation, it was the other, your spouse.
Broken homes.
Yeah,
Broken homes.
I mean, they're the ones that planted the seed for the kids to be have the thoughts and have the feelings that they have.
If we teach the children that this is educate the children,
that is not necessarily the truth. The truth is there is another person on the other side.
To every story. And I feel so sorry for the men that maybe not yourself, but I know that all a woman has to do is call up social services and go on welfare, and the men go to jail for support. And so they get even. The woman will get even with the man as any way she possibly can to hurt them and to bring the children against them. And they could be at the roughest times in their lives and can't afford to pay child support, but they're still their children.
Yeah, and that's the sad part about the whole.
So many men are in jail for
the ordeal with.
Why don't you tell the time that you saw your son in the store?
That was actually the last time I really saw my son, and he was about 7 years old, 6 or 7, and I just couldn't. He was walking down the aisle in Home Depot with his.
So you live here close.
His new dad, and I just happened to be in there buying some lumber, and I walked around the corner and I spotted Chuck, and then I saw Sean with him, and
Chuck is her husband.
Yeah, Chuck, the husband, and I immediately just turned away because I didn't know what I should say or how to say it or what I should actually do, and I got all choked up.
Right.
I wouldn't have been able to say anything anyway.
Right.
I mean, I whelmed up and,
So
you
much
know, just,
emotions.
oh, so much that I was just like, you know, do I kill that guy, take this kid with me, or